Seen the first sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God.
Hey,
Welcome, welcome. It is a Friday. What day is this?
it's Monday, man.
Is it Monday? Wow. Monday,
Friday.
Monday, June 8th. I don't know what day it is, man.
That's time.
Monday, June 8th, 2026, only because I'm looking at the date. It is 7 o'clock right now, if you believe in the concept of time. And it's time for a fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Yep. Thank you and welcome. Yeah, it is Monday. Now it's coming back to me
Okay,
now.
it's coming back. It's coming back. Download.
Yeah, because we talk about setting intentions on Monday, and this is the last week of the season. So we were talking about setting some intentions for the summer. We want to know what's going on with your summertime. What it is that you're gonna do. You're gonna hit Juneteenth. Which events? We'll talk about a lot of that and a lot more too. There's a lot of stuff in the news right now. We definitely got to talk about this situation with the Rose Theater.
Oh yeah. It's not just the Rose Theater, man. We talking all about the babies today, man. There's a kind of a debate going on. I'm hearing a lot of people chime up about this curfew situation, what to do about the babies. There's some people that have some solutions in the community. So we're gonna talk about all that and more today. So yeah. Actually, let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Let's start the show.
Start.
First Sky Omaha in the morning. Money. Once again, just want to welcome you to a fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Yes, my name is Paul B. He is Buddy to God, and it is Monday. We have determined that it is Monday. Time to set intentions for the week, set intentions for the summer. Everybody's babies are out of school. I'm hearing everybody being like, when does school start back up? Have your babies eaten you out of house and home yet? These are questions we'd love to know about. And what have you been doing over the summer as well? I know in my family, there's been a lot of going to the trampoline spot, the pool,
Really?
Miller Park pool, splash. A lot of basketball, a lot of hoops, a lot of all kinds of things going on. So, like Buddy said, we'll be talking about the babies. We definitely need to talk about what's been going on with them over the summer. Seems to be a lot of babies running around the streets too. Sometimes I'm calling them babies, even though they're older teenagers, but
still
they're all
babies.
to me.
Still babies.
Big time. I want to thank everybody for coming in. I see Pops giving us a good Monday morning and mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pops.
Hey.
Also, RG says, morning, y'all. Last week of the season. Yep,
Yes,
it
sir.
is. Yep. Mark Manor says, good morning. Did you say Friday? Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I didn't know what. No, I don't know what the day is, man. It's Monday. It's Monday though. I got it. Michelle Moreno gives us a good morning. Appreciate that. Pop says, man, I'm telling you, there is no such thing as a weekend anymore. It goes straight from Friday to Monday. Especially when you're working through it. Don't even feel like a weekend anymore for sure. Heather Williams says, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Marlon Harrison says, good morning, First Sky family, and happy motivational Monday. If anyone has any drunk ship coffee, please send it my way because I'm tired. Boy, that drunk ship really stuck with folks, didn't it?
Yeah.
I wish it existed again. We got to find another brand now. Also, RG says, from some of the posts I've seen, it looks like the babies are drinking milk by the gallon daily.
What?
Drinking milk? Okay.
It's a new challenge out there.
Is it? Yeah, what is that? What is that? Kimber Snipes says a good morning. Good morning to you. Also a person who loves the kids, loves the babies too. Programs even before she was on school board, doing stuff at the Washington Washington Branch Library. Yeah, Washington. Yep. We did some stuff over the weekend with the Washington Branch as well.
Yeah. Speaking of Washington Branch, shout out to all the chat or the content creators. There we go. That came through, and man, all the instructors, Baby Boy Bolin, Dr. Z came through. We did the thing, man. So yeah, very excited. Projects are coming together. Narrative coming together. It's all coming together, man. So yeah, definitely excited to share that all with y'all. Look out. And we will be running a bike later this year.
That's right. So for those of you who don't know, we just had our content creator camp. The camp was over last weekend, but the campers are still doing some work. So we held a workshop Buddy headed up the workshop, and like he said, we had Dr. Z, we had Chris Baby Boy Bowling. I'm seeing you in there with the facts and figures on the whiteboard,
Come
going
on,
for
man.
it. Yeah, man. I'm very proud of what they got going on here. I can't wait to hear their stories and present them to you guys as well. So again, if you guys anybody interested in being in the next content creator camp, please let us know. Hit us up at firstsky@gmail, and send us an email. Just say you're interested, and we'll talk about the fall content creator camp program that we're putting together as well. So that's what's up. RG in the chat says, "Nah, literally, the parents can't keep a gallon of milk for more than a day or two. I'm telling you, man, the kids eating out, people out of house and home. I don't know what's happening around here. I think it's just because the groceries cost so much. It seems like
Man,
everything's going. But tell us about this milk thing. Is it a
yeah.
specific thing?
Is it the
What's happening?
cereal? What is it? What is it?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Sean McCarthy in the chat. Morning. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Thanks, Sean McCarthy. Appreciate you. Hope you had one too. We did have a pretty good weekend. Got to
Yeah.
go to the Prince event last night at Odo, and
Hey,
meet some pretty heavy hitting DJs that night. And yeah, it was great. So shout out to Kethro, the Odo Hi-Fi Lounge, Japanese Hi-Fi Lounge they got going on over there at Exarban. And yeah, and shout out to everybody celebrated Prince's birthday over the weekend. So it was a trip. I said, man, it's about time for us to bring back these Michael Jackson versus Prince parties like we were doing back in the day, for real.
man, no time like the present, man.
It's for real. Mark Manner told me last night the record store be selling out of the Michael Jackson records nowadays. We can't keep them on the shelves, man.
Man,
Yeah, we were talking. Say what?
speaking of the young folk, they moonwalking again.
Bro, it's like 1985 again, bro. I remember being that kid, and I'm seeing these kids just as excited as if it was like the Thriller just came out. And they asking for the leather jackets, and they moonwalking all over the place. It's a trip. It's a real.
Man. That plus Michael Jackson's glove everywhere because of
Come on,
Drake.
come
Yeah,
on, man.
yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty whack, by the way. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
me. Yeah. You don't need that glove. Put it in the museum, fool. Going around wearing Michael Jackson's glove. Drake, I tell you what. But I'll tell you, the other thing is that we're learning that I think they're coming close to $1 billion for the Michael movie. So they are killing the
Really?
game. Yes. Yes, Mike Jack is back. And it's real interesting how we went through an era of this, they're trying to vilify him for a bunch of stuff that he didn't do. And then and now that the Epstein files and all this stuff is happening, it's coming out. He was the one that was trying to protect people. It's really kind of interesting, like where we're at in history when it comes to his legacy.
Man.
And then yeah, so yeah, pretty interesting stuff. There's people that are still trying to say things, but it goes with any. There's no denying the Michael Jackson phenomenon. Sorry,
Oh yeah.
nothing you can do.
Man.
Also, Sean McCarthy says if you're looking for a decent substitution for drunk ship, the coffee the North Omaha Visitor Center sells is great. Three Keys Coffee. That's what's up. Nice plug. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Also, RG says, but are they going to bring back the bedazzled penny loafers?
Well,
What-
bedazzled
what-
jeans is a thing. I don't know if y'all been seeing about that.
I didn't seen the jeans.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
But remember, RG, it was the socks that was bedazzled. The penny loafers was just regular loafers. So anyway, and no, I ain't wearing those. Appreciate everybody come. Oh, Pop says he says in my 20s through 30s I used to drink gallon of milk a day and 3 pounds of grapes a day, and that's why I only weighed 165 pounds.
Hmm.
Man, that's
Can't do the milk, man.
can't do it, bro. Can't do it. The milk be punching me in the gut from the inside, boy, for real. Michelle Moreno says grocery do not go as far as they used to. That's for real. That's for real, man. You spend $200, you come back with 2 bags full of something.
Man.
So yeah, it's getting bad. It's that and gas getting over to the grocery store. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess, man. So I'm seeing people doing cooking struggle meals and getting together doing potlucks and doing the thing.
I don't know if you saw my post yesterday, but I came across these videos. My mom was watching these 15-minute meals. They were struggle meals, man. Let's just call it what it is, man. She took a little ground pork, put it in some ramen noodles. It's some real struggle meals. And then I've been seeing the jailhouse cooking shows. They making the jailhouse burritos. I can't help but to feel like we being prepared for something, being programmed for some hard times.
Bro, listen, we've been the reason why them things exist because we had the hard times. They just getting wind of it now. Folks that never had to eat like that before, now they're like, well, what were they doing all this time? This is what we was doing. Pot o' beans on the stove for the
Man,
week. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen, and we made it tasty on top of it, on top of everything else. Made it good. RG says, "Hey, man, he has something sparkling on that moonwalk. Yeah,
something sparkling.
them bedazzled socks. Hey, let's jump into some community updates. We got a few things going on today. We talked about Brother Kasim a little earlier, doing some stuff, and matter of fact, there's a couple things going on with him. This
Man,
Black Dawa thing, network that he's got going on, Feed Your Neighbor. He is not a believer with stomach is filled when whose stomach is filled while his neighbor goes hungry. What a
mm-hmm.
quote! What a quote! Sunday, June 7th. This happened yesterday. They had an event. I think they were giving away some food. Brother Kasim on his post said, "We'll be distributing halal chicken, beef, eggs, and grains to our community." So yeah, we have to catch up with him and see how this went yesterday. So the mission is to begin addressing food insecurity throughout our community and abroad. Said I've been selected as the Nebraska coordinator for the Black Dawa Network, and this is the beginning of a beautiful initiative that we have been working on for some time. And yeah, if food is frozen, we'll be limited to the amount of families we'll be able to feed. First come, first serve. So we got to check in with him, this brother, and see how this went yesterday, and if this is going to be an ongoing thing. Speaking of food insecurity and high groceries, so more efforts in the community to help feed people. I mean, what else you need? What else is there to do but to, to help us be able to survive around here? So shout out to Brother Kasim and all the work that he's doing with his teams and everybody who's involved with that. I believe there was a lot of folks like Untamed. There was a few folks that were sponsoring this effort yesterday. So we got to find out about how that went. Also, yesterday I did see this as well. Urgent mutual aid request by Elijah, who puts together the Joy Fest. She says a beloved community member needs our support while navigating this stagnant job market. So we've heard all about the stagnant job market out there. Shout out Sean McCarthy. Shout out everybody who's been looking for jobs. 1,400, 600 for MUD bill to turn the water back on. 1,400 as a cushion for rent, utilities, food, as they continue to secure full time work. And she put her Cash App and Venmo down because in her statement she says at the end she says we please support a loving, generous, and kind community member whose constant support. Let's see, where's the part that she said? Oh, she says to honor their dignity and humanity, they will remain anonymous, and all payments will be accepted on their behalf. So this is the reason why she put her Venmo and Cash App up. And this is the reason why I'm posting this now. We actually did something like this earlier last year. The end of last year, we were trying to help a family get through December, get the Christmas season. Same thing. Like you don't want to always put the family's name out there. So if you're a trusted source that can put this together and people trust that you're going to get the money to the right folks, then let's go ahead and utilize that so that we can help people out without putting them on blast every time they are in some kind of trouble. Some people don't want to even ask for help because they don't want to be on blast that way. So shout out to Elijah. She is a trusted source in our community. She runs Joy Fest and is doing some big things. And I had no problem Venmoing her over some money for this family. So if you feel so inclined, please do that. Her Venmo is at Elijah-Makizia, and Cash App is money sign Elijah Makizia. So we'll put that in Friends of First Sky Omaha so you can hit her up and send a little money over to help this family if you can. We talk about mutual aid all the time. Here we go.
Man, can you put that back up really quickly?
Absolutely. Wait.
Yeah. What got me is the thing at the bottom, man. Thinking about man Sean McCarthy. The reason why they're looking for help. She says they've been actively searching for employment for over a year and picking up extra shifts at their current job. They need urgent support to get back on their feet. So again, this isn't somebody who's just they're working. Like this is somebody who has a job and looking for another job, working overtime. Man, speaking of groceries, it's hard
Man,
out here.
hard out here. Please support a loving, generous, and kind community member who constantly supports others. So she's definitely helping out a family that she knows helps others and really deserves some help. So shout out to her for putting this together, man. And let's see what we can do around here. Any little bit helps. $5, $10. Do what you can do. Make it happen.
Man, so what it's about. What it's about.
what it's about for sure, for sure. Getting running a little overtime today, but it is kind of a day we want to set intentions and think about what we got going on coming up for the week. This is the day that I kind of sit down on my calendar and say what's going on for the week for me.
Man,
So I did want to talk about a few other things happening. This is coming up on June 16th. We told you before, put this on your calendar. Shout out to One Omaha for putting this capital conversation event together. I hope they continue to do this, connecting community with capital through conversations. This is going to be Terry Nichelle Bradley. People are kind of asking me like who this is. We got a little rundown. She was in Omaha, born and raised in Omaha, and then moved abroad or moved away in order to do some business, and now she's coming back to give a talk here. So she's founder and CEO of Brown Toy Box. And this is going to be one of many talks coming. Stay for live music networking after the conversation, but join one Omaha 100 for an engaging community discussion focused on access to capital, housing, business growth, and community development. Together, we'll explore solutions and resources that create opportunities and build stronger, more connected communities. We're really going to have to deep dive into some of the resources that Omaha 100 and other organizations like them in North Omaha can do for us, for our projects, for everything that we're trying to work on here and building up the community. There's some real, I don't even know how to explain it. It's very rare that I can walk into a place and they say, yeah, we're trying to build black business. So everything that we do here is for you and your business. Let's try to figure it out and make it happen. Oh, you're not ready? Well, here, let's put some resources in place to help you get ready. So shout out to Omaha 100. We'll be digging into a lot of the stuff that they're doing coming up here as well. Some of the things going on is this film. Shout out to Film Stream. Shout out to Joy Fest, and shout out to I Be Black Girl. Everybody who's involved with this as well. The Tony Cade Bombara School Organizing Film Screening and Panel Discussion is happening June 9th. So that is tomorrow. Definitely check this out. Tuesday, June 9th at 6:30 at Film Streams, the Ruth Sokoloff Theater. The panel is going to be heavy hitters, man. Ashley Spivey, Raquel Henderson, Nancy Williams, and moderated by Elijah, who we just talked about doing the mutual aid piece. So shout out to them for this. It's going to be a really heavy film. I can't wait to go check this out myself and learn more about Tony Cade Bombara, because ever since this came out, I started digging in a little bit. Powerful, love supreme soldier, an activist, powerful woman. Not a lot of people knew her name. And so I would definitely check this out for real. Also, this Strut for the Cure, we're going to be talking about this a little bit later on in the show, but this is a fashion show, an all cancer fashion show. So this is a fashion show that raises money for cancer research and a lot of other things. And this has been going on for 5 years. Cancer survivors are the ones on the runway. It's a pretty interesting event. Very entertaining event, and then for a really good cause as well. And this has been building over the last 5 years. So this is going to be a great one. This is a situation where you got to scan for tickets. So we'll go ahead and put this in Friends of First Sky Omaha and hit that QR code. But it'll be at Metropolitan Community College at 4:00 on June 27th. So mark this on your calendars. Definitely check this out. Doors open at 4, refreshments at 5, and runway at 6. And if you got family members and people that are going to be on the runway, it's a really great thing to kind of support them doing that. And anybody else who is a cancer survivor that you can connect with them, they would love for that connection to happen as well. Because why not celebrate, the ones that are trying to fight this whole situation.
Man, it's definitely a battle. We actually haven't talked about it, Paul, but we actually have an opportunity to give away some tickets if anybody is interested in checking this out. Yeah, if anybody wants to check this out, email us. Let us know. First come, first serve. firstskyOmaha@gmail.com. Have a couple of tickets.
Okay, cool. Let's make it happen. Love that. Also, the community conversations is coming. I'm loving to see these 3 groups getting together: Black Agenda Alliance, NONA, North Omaha Neighborhood Association, and One Omaha. This is happening June 15th. Definitely mark this on your calendar, 6 to 8 at Nebraska Early Childhood Collaborative, 3200 North 30th Street, Unit 200. One Omaha wants to hear from residents east of 72nd. Your input will shape the Neighborhood Needs Survey. So this is about Kimmer's Neighborhood Needs Survey. Definitely check this out. Love that she's partnering with these other organizations as well. It's going to be a pretty extensive talk. Anything that Kimmer Snipes puts together is going to be complete and intelligent and action packed, ready to make some change, and you're not gonna get it more thorough than she does it. So appreciate that she got this going on. This community conversations is definitely something that we're gonna talk about until the time that it happens, because we really, really highly encourage you guys to go to this for sure. I'll save some of the rest of the haps for a little later on in the show so we can get to the today's thread before we get to a break. Thanks for joining us today. We have no guests today, so it's me and Buddy. We're going to run through some things, again, setting the intention for the week, but also setting the intentions for the summer. We want to hear from you about what it is that you're planning on doing this summer, which events you're talking about going to for Juneteenth, and anything else you going out of town. Tell us what you got going on over the summer, and how you're going to spend the time in the next few months in the interim of us going on break, which starts on the 13th. It'll be last week of shows for us, and then we take a break and come back. Yep. So yeah, stay tuned for that. We'll be right back, and well, actually, before we do that, let's do today's thread and get set up here for our break and our discussion, buddy. What's on the agenda today?
Yeah, man. Actually, gonna be touching on a few things throughout the day, as you just mentioned. We do not have a guest today. It's actually been a kind of it's been a while. We kind of been on a good streak of guests. So hey, you got us here for the next 2 hours. A little more time to dive into the thread and look at a few things. Again, it is still Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, so we'll be kind of talking about those things, but not just men's mental health, as you just saw. We'll be talking about health in general. Of course, bigging up the strep for the cure situation. Actually, I have some family that's walking in that, so hitting
Word.
close to home. Speaking of men's health and things like that. Also, speaking of health in general, we got to talk about this recent statement from Douglas County Health Director, who is calling for the closure of OPPD. Again, another update in that saga, another update in that fight, something we've been paying close attention to. Will this make a dent in the thing? Will this push the needle forward? We'll definitely see here in a second. But also, as Paul mentioned earlier, and I mentioned at the top of the show, we're talking about the youth for the majority of today. There's been some conversation, some back and forth, some debate. I'm even seeing some people from our community showing some concern about the young folk, as Paul said, setting intentions for the summer. They're out of school. What is there for them to do? What are they going to do? Again, looking at not just the situation around curfews, but also mental health and also working. There's actually going to be a city council meeting tomorrow where the call for $15 to make young folk have equal minimum wage. If you remember, there was a state law that created a separate minimum wage for young folk. I think it was like 13.50 an hour, again, which is a little lower than the $15 an hour minimum wage. And again, there is a community call that for young folk to have equal pay. Maybe that'll help them with some of these things that they're talking about as far as the
Mm,
youth violence, the youth not having. Hey, pay them, give them some money. Maybe they'll, have a little extra funds to do some things and stay
mm,
out of trouble. It's
mm.
just one thing. But there's actually a lot coming for the youth. That's one of the big things that I've realized since I've been here in Omaha. There is a lot to do for the young folk, man. Actually, shout out to Assembly of the Saints having their summer camp going on right now. Got my young folk involved with that. They say they're all about it. They're having a good time. So yeah, it's a lot of things to get these young folk involved. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Again, we're here for the next 2 hours. As always, let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. Join the conversation. In the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo,
We're
yo.
a little behind, but it's all right. No guests today. Keeping it a little loose. What's the word?
Yeah, man. Let's take a quick break. Well, first, let's jump in the chat then, since we're a little loose today.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just want to
Chat
give some
this.
good mornings out to Willie Williams. Give a good morning. Also, Wanda Lewis gives us a good morning. Donnell Sessions gives us a good morning. Appreciate that. Also, RG says, as a bachelor, struggle meals are daily for me. Eggs and ground beef like it's nothing. Also, Pop says times have changed so much. He said my mom used to spend $80 a month on groceries for 6 people, including 3 boys who ate like full grown men.
Mm.
Yeah, man, times is something else for real, for real. Kimmer says this is one of our many neighborhood needs assessment code design sessions. We prefer people from North Omaha for this one, talking about the that session that we just mentioned a little bit
Mhm.
earlier. So shout out to we'll put that back up and remind everybody to go to that a little bit later on in the chat, later on in the show. As a matter of fact, she says we're already in contact with groups in Midtown and South Omaha. So this
Okay.
particular one here is going to be for North Omaha. Very important one to get to for sure, for sure. We'll get to it for sure. You see, Brother McGaw in the chat giving us a good morning.
Hey.
Also, Judy Prinzer says, hearing, listening, sending love to all. Appreciate you very much. Appreciate everybody that's jumped in. Also, Wanda Lewis says that's age discrimination when younger people don't get equal pay. Yeah, we'll have to dig in. We'll talk about it. Also, I see Anthony Rogers Wright with some comments too. We'll jump in to those as soon as we get back from the break. Appreciate everybody joining us early this morning. Do us a favor, share the show. If you're on Facebook, you can share it on your page. If you're on YouTube, do us a favor and share the link and like and subscribe when you're over there as well. Get many people in the conversation as we can. And yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. It's a day that we're actually going to catch up on some things that we've been trying to get to and dig a little deeper into. So shout out to having no guests today. It is a Monday. You got me and Buddy ready to go to work. So let's make it happen. We'll take a quick break and come right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God. Stay tuned,
Hey,
y'all.
hey,
Be right back.
Get ready, Omaha. Join us for the Omaha Freedom Festival, a free, family-friendly celebration of Juneteenth on June 13th at Miller Park. Enjoy free food, community resources, and family fun from 12 to 5 p.m. Play basketball, kickball, dance, activities for all ages. Enter for a chance to win great prizes. Download your free day pass now at omahafreedomfestival.com. Celebrate freedom, family, food, and fun. The Omaha Freedom Festival. Everyone's invited and everything's free.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy to God. Appreciate that. Appreciate all of you joining us today. Thank you. We got lots to talk about today. I'm going to jump back into the chat for a minute. Anthony Rogers Wright is saying the most important event of the week is happening at Mandela School on 6/11 at 6 o'clock, the 11th of June. Certain forces and organizations will be trying to sell the community out the evening and selling the community out that evening and playing the same tricks. Okay. He says it's major discussion on data centers in North O, something that was omitted from discussion from some reason during the most recent senator ciphers. I don't remember if that is the case, but we'll talk about it. Also, RG in the chat says, no, you ain't. Oh, you guys are talking to each other. Okay, cool. Appreciate that. Yeah, I definitely need to dig into some of that as well. Appreciate your comment there. Anthony Rogers, right. We'll definitely be looking into some more of this. I mean, that's an ongoing discussion for sure. It's really interesting how this story about this particular judge is playing out. We'll get to that a little bit later on. I don't want to jump the gun on that, but yeah, we'll talk about it coming up for sure. Sean McCarthy in the chat is saying NPR did a segment Friday about how hard it is for kids to find a job over the summer because so many recent college grads are applying for jobs that were typically summer jobs for kids. Interesting. Very interesting. Michelle Moreno says, yes, my son signed up for that. For talking about the Assembly of the Saints camp. That's what's up. Also, Pop says, hey, I always enjoy our guests, but I've always cherished the shows with just you two. Oh, thanks, Pops. Thanks. He says, you have a chemistry and magic that gets to sparkle a little more when you're flying solo. Okay, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. Black Dynamite gives us a good morning. Good morning to you too. Appreciate you. Yeah. So yeah, I appreciate that. Let's get it going. We sometimes I think this particular season we were jam packed with guests. We still got a couple more guests for the rest of the week, as a matter of fact, coming. We definitely gonna have to talk to Calvin Williams about the events coming up for Juneteenth. So again, we're talking here about setting the intention about the summer, what it is that we're going to try to accomplish and do, not just fun stuff, of course, but what are the fights out there? What are the things we got to push on? There is an election coming up in November. We can't let that slip through anybody's fingers. Lots going on with the 6 to dismiss. So yeah, we got definitely tons to talk about. So let's go ahead and get to it. What's first up on the agenda, buddy? What's on your mind?
Man, again, this is an ongoing conversation here, so really want to pick up where we left off on Friday. If you missed it, man, phenomenal Love Supreme episode with brother Johnny No Good on Friday, talking about men's mental health and his program Beyond the Stigma. And apparently over the weekend, as our style here, starting with the affirmative, some people in the community raising some money for some mental health. Again, it is still Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, so recognizing, and this is kind of actually coming out of Council Bluffs, just quick opener story, nothing too
Mm.
deep. But 1.2 million is a nothing to blink at as far as the money raised for mental health resources in the Omaha area. This is from the Wabash Trail. There was an event over the weekend in Southwest Iowa, the Council Bluffs area, honoring brother Mike, who had schizophrenia and also died due to suicide 6 years ago. Which, to be candid, this is not really something I've shared, but someone close to me and my family also recently lost their battle to suicidal ideations. So again, mental health and mental health awareness month is definitely something that's hitting home for me, which is, why I'm happy to see these resources. $1.2 million going towards the Community Alliance, which is allowing the organization to hire more staff and take on more clients. Is huge. We've been talking about it here on the show, really over the last couple of seasons throughout the Follow the Money and Spaces the Place seasons, as far as what money is going to the spaces that again aid in mental health. It seems like all of the spaces that help with the mental health, or at least service those dealing with mental health issues, require you to go through the police at some point, or have some kind of encounter with the police before you get those resources. So again, shout out to Community Alliance, which I do believe is not one of those organizations. If you're just in the community and having issues with your mental health, or just need somebody to talk to, need some resources, Community Alliance is one of those organizations. So again, shout out to them and everybody who stepped out for this. Yeah, good cause. $1.2 million. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, man, nothing to shake a stick at. I appreciate that. There's something there. Also, just want to remind everybody we have a resource in North Omaha with Charles Drew. They're proven to be a very great resource for mental health. People, they work on a sliding scale, so you can go there and get some help for what you can afford. And yeah, they've been beefing that side of things up. Matter of fact, we need to catch up with Brother McMorris here, because they made
Man,
progress. Some more things happening with Charles Drew that we need to get into. But they're, to me, part of this, the glue that really holds things together. We'll talk a lot more about teamwork, making the dream work next season, and how Charles Drew, the health center, and the efforts that they got going on there really kind of helps hold things together, especially when it comes to this part. So, just many resources going in for actual medical help, physical medical help, also mental medical help is being invested in, which is a good thing.
man. Also, I do want to give a shout out to brother Peyton Hogan too. Learning, if you remember back in the Minus Old days, he was coming around the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation, just engaging with community, trying to get his thing started. But learned last week from brother Johnny Noga that he now has, a handful of therapists under him in his own practice. So again, big shout out to that young brother Peyton Hogan. Also, kind of part of the news gang a little bit. He has his podcast. If you haven't seen it, having some pretty interesting, pretty deep, pretty profound, conversations with community members about their own mental health battles and journeys, man. So big shout out to Peyton Hogan. If you haven't checked out his platform, go ahead and do so. Young brother from the community doing things, which actually goes back to, we all we got, but that's enough, man. There's people in servicing areas that you might not think of. You need a black therapist? Holla.
Yeah, I love it. We had to talk to that brother next season as well, for sure.
Yeah, hey, especially on the teamwork makes the dream work, man. He's building quite a team over there. So yeah, big shout out to him. But yeah, I guess moving along, speaking of the teamwork making the dream work, and men's health, jumping into the Strut for the Cure fashion show, again celebrating cancer survivors in style. This is what Pink Lotus Project, which again, friends of First Sky a little bit. Shout out Pink Lotus, getting down. But again, more than 2 million new cancer cases are diagnosed every year. This is according to KETV News 7, and according to the American Cancer Society, more than 600,000 people lose their battle to cancer. Actually, shout out to a friend of First Sky, Sister Erica Felt, who's been a cancer warrior for the last several years, and still fighting, but fighting strong. So shout out to that sister and her strength.
and also some other friends of First Sky Omaha that didn't really want to be named. We know that you went through your private struggles as well, and we're thinking about you.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But again, this is one an event who celebrates those who are still surviving and still fighting. Again, the Pink Lotus Project is rolling out the runway for their sixth annual Strip for the Cure fashion show. Again, shout out to Tisa Harden, who you might see in the chat, friend of First Guy. She says it's a fashion show for all cancer survivors. It's really just a celebration of life. So again, the event is this weekend, as Paul talked about earlier, but we will have some tickets to give away if anybody is interested in that. Hit us up, firstguyomaha at gmail.com. Again, first come, first serve for a pair of tickets for this fashion show going down June 27th at Metro Community College. As you see, Pink Lotus Project. Shout out. Shout out.
That's what's up. Appreciate that. Anybody went to any of their other events? They've been doing this for about 5 years. Let us know if you've been involved or if you had family members involved, or if you even just went and got a ticket and went to check it out. I think I saw last year's shows, either last year or year before last, and I was highly entertained. They made it a celebration of life for real. It was a feel good thing. Wasn't all doom and gloom and sadness. It was people celebrating their survival, celebrating the fight. And it was real blackly black too. That's what I really liked.
Man, that part.
Leland Nichols was playing. It was cold. It was a good time. It was a good time.
Hey, it's strut for the cure, man. You strutting, you coming out in style, you know.
Michael Scott was on the runway that year. He was strutting down. Yeah, he was getting down on the runway, man. That's what I'm talking about. It was good.
Yeah. And just a side note, last week I ran into the good folks at UNMC, some of their team, and they're doing some work with raising awareness for cancer and some cancer screening things and things like that. So actually, we'll be talking to them more in next season for Teamwork Makes a Dream work to stay on top of that. Shout out to brother RG, who's been kind of letting us know what Noah is doing with some of the cancer screenings and things throughout this year. So again, we paying attention. Health is wealth here in this season to follow the money. So we're gonna stay on top of that. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Word. Let's get ready to take a quick break again, just to kind of smell the coffee beans.
Yeah.
Before we do that, though, I see Michael Lee in the chat giving us a good morning, y'all. Appreciate you getting up. Black Dynamite is asking that Freedom Fest, is that the same event that was at Malcolm X? So. Yes, I believe it was. Yeah. So I'm not sure. It's not on the grounds this time around.
It's at Miller Park, right?
Miller Park, right. Mm-hmm. So. Yes, but this is the one that was on the grounds for a few years before they started moving other parts of town. So yeah, definitely check that out. We'll have more information about that as well. I think we're gonna have Calvin Williams on Friday to talk about Freedom Fest. Also, Michelle Moreno says, "No, I was talking about what Kimmer was talking about.
Okay,
that's what I signed up for." So again, we're talking about this community conversations that's going down. So shout out to everybody that's already signed up for this. The collaboration is what I'm loving right here. Black Agenda Alliance, Nona, and One Omaha getting together, and they want to hear from North Omaha people for this one. So this is Monday, June 15th. Put this on your calendar, 6 to 8. They're talking to other neighborhoods too, but this one is for North Omaha. So shout out to Kimra putting all her efforts behind this. A lot of her efforts behind this. She puts a lot of efforts behind a whole lot of things. So this is one of them. So definitely check it out. Help Shape the Neighborhood Needs Survey. That neighborhood needs survey is going to be very, very important. It's their time to be able to speak to an organization that's led by a black woman who cares about the neighborhoods, and we're going to gear you up to make sure that you get down with this needs assessment. I think it's something that's going to be very needed for us.
Kind of bearing the lead a little bit too, man. You get a little $50 stipend, get some food and some snacks while you're there as well. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you don't want to do it for that reason, but it's nice. It's nice to. Also have that right on. That's what's up. Right. Wait a minute, some snacks. Hold on, let me look at that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Come on, man.
See what you got.
Food, refreshments, hors d'oeuvres,
food and snacks. Okay, all right. Well, all right. That's what Kimmer do it right. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back and jump back into the conversation. Thanks for joining us. First Sky Omaha in the morning. All B, Buddy to God. Shout out to Leia that's over there right near the beach right now in Hawaii.
Hey,
jealous of man.
Step into history at the Omaha Freedom Festival with our Negro Leagues and Black Baseball Storytelling Series, a powerful celebration of America's baseball legacy. Join us Saturday, June 13th, 2026 at Gene Leahy Mall Pavilion. Hear from historians and icons as they bring the rich history of the Negro Leagues to life. Just download your free ticket at omahafreedomfestival.com. Don't miss this celebration of history, heritage, and America's game. Only at the Omaha Freedom Festival.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Man, Paul B, that's me. Buddy the guy, that's him.
Hey,
Ted Chimers, I appreciate all this information. So you guys come in with the info that we don't know about. Brother McGaw says Pink Lotus Project 9 years strong. So yeah, not just they've been doing. I thought I read somewhere they did the shows for 5 years, but man, this has been an effort that's going on almost a decade. In the fight for it. So I appreciate that. And I just love the success stories that you always hear from them. So shout out to Pink Lotus, man, for real. Wanda Lewis is talking to Black Dynamite. Cameron Snipe says people deserve to know that their information is valuable, and not just valuable, but like protected, considered. These are all the things that I have complete confidence that Cameron Snipes is handling when it comes to that. We don't always like to fill out surveys and give our information or, tell our business or any of that kind of stuff. Sometimes we don't like doing that, but that's part of the reason why we trust who we giving it to half the time and what you going to do with it type of attitude, So when there's an opportunity for somebody in the neighborhood, from the neighborhood, trying to do something for the neighborhood, and that's the reason behind it, then and the fact that they're with NONA, Black Agenda Alliance, these other organizations we also trust. Yes. Yeah, we'll be definitely talking about this needs assessment more and more. As a matter of fact, we'll have Ms. Kimmer Snipes on maybe even like the first part of our Teamwork Makes the Dream Work season. I would love to check in with you then. So in July, hopefully we'll be able to bring you on the show and have some talks there. She says, yay. She says, definitely want some young people signed up for that. BAA works with a lot of youth as well. I'm hoping that some of them will attend. Okay. Yep. I appreciate that. We'll be talking about the youth here. As a matter of fact, she also says we had a great session Friday at Sienna Francis Health. Nice. Okay. She says, and they also deserve to see their input used in decision making. Thank you.
Man, that's more so what I was thinking. Like between the BAA, NONA, One Omaha, Brother Kasim, Sister Kimra, like I'm definitely seeing this not just being another study. Like this is ammo for something bigger. You're already seeing moves what Brother Kasim is doing with the Dawa network to provide food for the community. So again, knowing what some of the needs are will go a long way, and doing it in this way, it's not always easy to come forward with things that you need. You don't want to be just like we were talking about earlier with the mutual aid. You don't want to be viewed as a charity case, or just people are prideful. It's hard to really speak up and talk about what you need in that way. So definitely, hopefully, a lot comes out of this.
Also, shout out to Precious McKesson. I actually got the latest version of that flyer from her page. He's pushing these things as well. So appreciate that. Appreciate all you guys' efforts. Yeah. Anyway, it's 7:43 right now. If you believe in the concept of time and you live in Omaha, Nebraska, at the moment, you occupy this area. What are we talking about next, buddy?
Man, we're keeping it moving, man. We are still sticking with health so far, opening up this show as we get into the youth more in the second hour. But speaking of needs, Douglas County Health Director Lindsay Hughes says the OPPD need to shut down this North Omaha plant because we all know what it is, man. This is, again, from a letter sent by Health Director Lindsay Hughes. So this has been reported by the Omaha World Herald. Hughes wrote that continuing coal-fired generation at the plant, quote unquote, represents a clear detrimental impact to human health, exacerbates existing health inequities, and imposes an unacceptable burden on specific communities, most notably North Omaha. The utility, of course, had the plan retire during this year. The gas units at the plant, which converted from coal in 2016 and switched to 2 remaining coal-fired units to gas by, again, the end of this year. But we all know the can has been kicked down the road for various reasons. There's been a lawsuit, and now going back to what Brother Anthony Rogers Wright was talking about earlier, the entrance of data centers into this whole conversation, making the fight that much harder. Again, a fight that has been going on for decades. A vote by the utility's elected 8-member board could come as soon as its monthly meeting Thursday this week. The board has delayed phasing out coal once before. A coal burning at the plant has to be ended by 2023, or excuse me, was to be ended by 2023. But again, the board voted to kick it to this year, and now there's a possible kicking down the road again. And this is quite interesting for us. The biggest thing, as we've been talking about, is this letter from Lindsey Hughes again, contradicting the very statement or risk assessment that OPPD themselves have put out. Again, if you remember, recently OPPD released a risk assessment indicating that the station did not pose a significant human risk or to the environment, saying this. And the study separately noted that air quality in the Omaha area, which again is regulated on a regional basis, not just a communal basis, meets or exceeds federal ambient air quality standards for pollutants, sulfur dioxide, things like that. But again, this does not speak to the reality that we in North Omaha have to experience. So again, big shout out to Director Lindsey Hughes for that move. Hopefully this moves the needle, but we'll see. We'll see.
Well, Anthony Rogers Wright doesn't think it will. Says it's not going to get shut down. We know for a fact that the plant will stay open to accommodate data centers that certain leaders in the community are promoting, and citizens. Also, he says one of the biggest problems in Nebraska is that we don't have one proper environmental justice organization in the entire state. He says instead we have nonprofit executive directors who also chair a certain state political party about to buy off community leaders to give the idea that data centers can be regulated and mitigated with community benefit agreements. Yeah, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing people on definitely a couple of different ends of the spectrum when it comes to that. People that believe it's coming, people that want it to come, want data centers to come here, which is a lot of folks in this state. A lot of the politicians we talked to have been on the side of either it's coming, we want it to come, or it's coming, and so we need to do something about regulating it because there's no stopping it. Whereas we've been talking about other states that have been stopping it. Hawaii being one of the latest ones. They shout out to aloha to my friends out there in Hawaii that has stopped a data center from coming up. And just to kind of reiterate some of the stuff that we talked about when it came to the data centers. We've been knowing that they have been environmentally messing things up, but even the purpose of them being there has been uncovered to be that these data centers are really here to surveil us. This is a lot of that data and also the wage war. So putting those things together, it seems like the fight should be a little tougher. And Anthony Rogers Wright, you're right. If there's no real environmental justice organization, then who would be fighting back with any of these things? They've been kicking the can down the road, kind of placating everybody in North Omaha for years and years and years. Like, yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, we'll do it. Mm-hmm. And this year was a little bit different because this year they were like, well, really, there's kind of no need for us to do it because it's not really hurting you guys.
Which is crazy. It's crazy to say, like, to go from we're gonna close it down. We know we're gonna phase it out. Don't worry. To hey, you sure you need this? Like, not even you sure. Like telling us you don't need it. You don't need this. Let's keep it open.
The asthma that your kids have is from all the candy that you buy them with your EBT cards. So
man, right. And the marijuana that's killing the kids. That's what's causing the asthma. Not this cold in
if you quit smoking marijuana, you'll have the
it's wild. It's wild. But again, shout out to someone with some sense over there in Douglas County. In a statement responding to Hughes' letter, OPPD officials did say the utility is aligned with the departments on many topics, including shared desire to see better health outcomes for residents of North Omaha. I mean, what we do here on First Sky is read between the lines. We all know that's a bunch of baloney.
Malarkey.
But of course, we, speaking of the youth, do want to focus on that's kind of who's in the crosshair mostly for this situation. actually at a recent public event talking about public health at Creighton University last week, concluded to continue that continued coal burning will result in health impacts. One of the researchers in a project with Creighton said that continuing to burn coal at the current rate, just to give you some numbers, for another 4 years, which they are projected, possibly to do going into the 2030s, will result in 28 premature deaths, 24 emergency room visits, and 2,600 lost school days. It's for the young folk.
Interesting way to bring some stats to that. It's interesting.
It is. It is. It is. But again, just painting a picture. Something that we all know in reality. Again, I believe Sister Terry Crawford talks about her son in his battle with asthma. I believe losing his battle with asthma due to kind of that area. We've been talking about that. Actually, shout out to Chris Baby Boy Bolin, who's actually still reporting on lead and just environmental situations in Omaha area, along with ProPublica. He said that he wants to report on some of the asthma things connected to OPPD. So there's still the story, the half of the story has still not been told. But again, and shout out to Hughes for this. We'll see if it makes an impact.
Yeah, most def. Let us know, especially you, Anthony Rogers Wright. You talk about environmental justice groups. I know that you've been involved with a few things. You had some videos out. Are there any environmental justice groups forming? I'm sure that you'd probably be on the front lines if it was. Let us know if there's anybody that's moving into any kind of action here on some of those things. In the chat, he's also he's also creeping up on his points that he likes to tout. Certain OPPD board members are getting cover from local black leaders. Now we're talking about the black leaders because they are in the same political party as these leaders, quote unquote. We know who they are, and they are wrong. Okay, that's yeah. I hear you on that. Again, let's kind of talk a little bit more about what groups are getting together to kind of battle some of this. I'd love to hear about that as well. Also, it's a good reminder. It is voting season. Voting season is coming up. There's going to be a major one in November, and yeah, we talk about who can be in those seats, who needs to not be in those seats, who need to put in those seats. So all these, we can't escape that we have to find out where these politicians especially are coming from when it comes to these particular subjects. Can't escape that for sure. And also OPPD, to me, it's interesting that OPPD is a public company that people can get voted out of as well. So I would like to learn more about that. Who are the people running? Is anybody running who has a different idea? What is it that can be done on that level? We're going to be talking politically. Let's definitely talk on the level of the OPPD election as well. So any information on that, we would love to hear more about as well. Also, RG is saying good old paternalism. Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Love that. Marlon Harrison says, so you telling me that my flowers in my front house are making me also, Tisa Hart in the chat. Good morning. She says, good morning, beautiful people. Happy marvelous Monday. We just said your name a second ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming in. Anthony Rogers Wright says, we need less organizations and more organizing. Word.
Yeah, I feel that.
Make that a t-shirt, bro. I'll buy that.
Yeah, I can get behind that one. I can definitely get behind that one. And speaking of the organizing, it's a good time to also, put out that Pillin signed this executive order for these data centers to have their own power and to tap into the OPPD system or the Nebraska public power. So yeah, we'll see. We'll keep our eyes on that one.
We talked about that last show.
Yeah, we did.
That was interesting. There's so many things that happen. That it comes. It's like it gets worse and worse. I feel like it gets worse and worse. We are doing things prematurely now. There's so much going on all the time. This thing with Medicaid that we really need to get into at some point. Moving faster than the Trump administration on something is crazy work when you think about it.
It's Trump Jr. for you. Good on Nebraska. But before we get into that, definitely wanted to actually get into the orality theory of everything. We're getting close to the second hour. Want to do a little philosophizing a little bit about some other things going on as far as the mental health. What you're talking about, there is a lot of things going on. It seems like the Atlantic has some ideas as to why those things are happening.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I definitely am interested in that. Let's get into it.
Yeah. So again, this is coming out of the Atlantic. And we're talking about health, especially in this month during mental health, especially with the youth, the young folk. And the Atlantic magazine has an interesting article. Speaking of actually data centers, AI, tech, and how it's impacting all of our lives, not just the environmental aspect of it all, but the mental aspect is also playing a part. According to this article, the smartphone theory of everything argues that our personal devices are responsible for the rise of political polarization, anxiety, depression, and conspiracy theories, not to mention the decline of attention spans, intelligence, happiness, and general committee. The housing theory of everything pins inequality, climate change, obesity, and declining fertility on the West's inability to build enough homes. If you treat theories of everything as literal theories of everything, you will be disappointed, to find that they all have holes. But one theory is the orality theory of everything. A new favorite theory by this article, our author of this article, says this theory emerges from the work of mid 20th century media theorists, especially Walter Ong, who argues that the invention of the alphabet and the rise of literacy were among the most important events in human history. These developments shifted communications, which, again, going back to news game, communication rules the nation, strategic communication more so, from an age of orality to an age of literacy, in which writing could fix words in place, allowing people to write alone, read alone, and develop ever more complicated ideas that would have been impossible to memorize. Again, the age of orality was an age of social storytelling and flexible cultural memory. The age of literacy made possible a set of abstract systems of thought that form the basis of all modern technology. And kind of is being argued as we get deeper into technology, we're losing touch with that as far as our ability to think for ourselves, have cultural conversations, and get our minds right.
Yeah, man, this was a very interesting piece that I want to dig into even more because of what it's trying to say. Where'd I go?
Shuffle the cards. There we go. There we
Yeah,
go.
there we
There
go.
we go.
And it just reminds me about we do this. We got a project that we got going on where I'm recording oral histories of the elders, and I remember my pops telling me about how the history came down in our family. He remember sitting at his grandfather's great grandfather's feet, listening to the stories that they passed down orally. This oral tradition of the griot and everything is something that we have been talking about here for a while, and it's the basis for the reason why we do a talk show, a show where we're talking to the public in real time, live on this chat. So it's really interesting that this is circling back, and that was kind of the thing that struck me about this orality. We're talking about this age of orality. We haven't really. It's a word I hadn't heard before. Of course, coming from the oral, speaking, they're talking about this new age where they kind of broke down some of the things. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can try to find that piece that really grabbed me. Was really interesting. They said the idea that there was some eras. There's these eras that went by. They argued the invention of the alphabet. Let's see. This idea can be characterized by the orality theory of everything. Okay, this is the one that you just went through. You just read that.
Mhm.
So this age of literacy made possible as set of abstract systems of thought, calculus, physics, advanced biology, quantum mechanics, the form that form the basis of all modern technology. Thompson writes, now the current demise of literature culture, which we're seeing this, we're seeing papers go away. People don't read the newspaper anymore. A lot of attention spans. We talk about attention spans all the time. This demise of literate culture exemplified by growing prevalence of social media and decline in reading. This may be signaling a return to orality that is once again transforming the human experience. Just to think about how these eras go by, where you have the orality first. This is how language came about, and people communicated and spoke this strategic communication with each other. And then things changed when things started getting written down. You even think differently when the literature alphabets and literature kind of come into play when in the human experience, and it sends you off into a different kind of way of thinking. And now that people are drawing back from literacy again because of all these different reasons, including social media, they're saying that this is getting back to this original way of communicating, this orality age. And that's a trip to me to hear that. We talk about authenticity all the time. We talk about living alive with one another, speaking face to face, speaking, having living by agreements, all these things that we've been talking about on this show, and have been kind of philosophizing about, like Buddy's saying, philosophizing about this for a while now. Seems to, and also this push to collect oral histories from the elders that we're working on. Like
Mm.
all these things are very much reminding us that we kind of had this. We're going back to the way things naturally are, and the way that Black folks have done it for years and years and years. And I just feel like it's a return to this kind of. I'm interested to see on how this will affect the way that people think and communicate. Uh, it's being studied right this minute, and this is where everybody's leaning. They're leaning towards this. We might be in another age of orality, which I think is huge. So,
Hmm.
let us know. I kind of want to know what you think of that. It's just kind of a little bit of an overview. I kind of want to dig into that Atlantic article more, and if
Hmm.
you guys would dig in there with me, and then we can kind of have a conversation about this at some point. I think it's really interesting. I think about dynamics. I think about how some of us speak online when we're typing, when we're in comments, and it sometimes differs from how we speak when we're face to face.
Oh yeah,
I think
definitely.
I think about how we talk about this on we when we set the rules for this chat, we say that like we're use the chat as if we're speaking face to face. We say this all the time because we have a tendency to use the chat, use words in a different way than we would when we're actually speaking words to each other. There's a lot of really interesting stuff here that I'm interested in kind of digging into when it comes to this, because just thinking about our history, and Pops, if you're still in the chat, I'd love to hear that. I'd love to hear remind me about some of the things that we talked about passing down the oral histories through the family.
Hmm.
So anyway, yeah, just something that we thought was pretty interesting to kind of dive into, and just thinking about the fact that the rest of this show, that we're in the second hour now, we'll be talking a lot about the kids, and talking about
Hmm.
how kids are getting together, how they're not feeling safe inside, and so they go
Yep.
outside, how they don't feel like anything's authentic unless they're speaking face to face, because of everything that's on your phone probably is fake. You should treat
Man.
everything like entertainment. How many times have we've been saying this and talking about this? You treat everything you see as maybe AI did it, because maybe AI did it. Like,
Yo, I found it funny. It's a pretty dope and funny short film I shared on my social media. It's everything is AI. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. You should check it out if you follow me on Facebook. Definitely check that out. But yeah, man. Just echoing what you're saying in the chat. Kimra says that at my Spivey family reunion, we had a play put on by family about our family history, which
that's
is
what's up.
huge. That's dope. That's
That's
dope.
what's up.
Actually, was talking to my cousins about doing a family reunion. I don't know, cousin, you still on here? Yeah, 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 yeah.
We got
Check
our
it out.
family reunion coming up in 3 weeks over here. So
Man,
yeah,
but that's huge. That's huge though. Like well, as we're talking about this, and I'm gonna go into a few things, but we're gonna round it back to the topic of the youth. But as we talk about this, I'm thinking of connection is the word that comes to mind, and how youth might, may or may not feel connected to who they are and where they come from as family, based on these oral histories that get passed down. That can play a big part in feeling belonging and having connection, to your family as far as how you move and how you operate based on your knowledge of your family history and who you come from, and honoring that goes a long way. But one thing that jumped out for me from this Atlantic article is a statement that I think kind of rounds up what you're talking about this literacy culture. It says literacy literally restructured our consciousness, and the demise of literature culture, the decline of reading, and the rise of social media is again transforming what it feels like to be a thinking person,
mm,
which is interesting. Going back to what you were talking about, um, this analog religion, it does seem like in different areas of society, people are getting back to living alive with one another and kind of unplugging from the matrix. Again, we were just at Odo Lounge last night, which is a vinyl club, it's a vinyl spot. Again, if you don't know about vinyl records, is man, it's a whole different feel in the music experience as far as vinyl and some of the energies and some of the vibrations that are actually captured in vinyl. It's a different, it's a more realistic experience, and that's the same thing as far as these young folk and social connectivity. Again, I don't know if you've been paying attention what's going on across the nation with these teen takeovers. These young folk are
Mhm.
going outside in huge groups because social media is not cutting it. The chat rooms is not cutting it. There is no real connection that these young people are feeling, and they're thriving, like they are thirsty for real connection in real time with real people in real life. And again, going back to what you were saying about outside, there are definitely the teen takeovers are outside. These are takeovers of parks. These are takeovers of shopping, areas.
Old
Because
markets in
old
downtown.
markets. Right. And we'll get into the whole Gene Leahy Mall curfew situation here in a second. But that's where the young folk are, and again, this oral, orality of it all kind of speaks to living alive with one another, and again, getting off of social media and getting back into real life and speaking to each other face to face, as we like to call living alive with one another.
Man. Stuart Knight in the chat. Good morning, Mr. Knight. Says, imagine that, a return to oral tradition in the era of my truth.
Mm.
Yeah. Also, Pop says, it seems to me that all of life is cyclical. He says, what's old is always becomes new again in some shape, fashion, or form, for sure. Wanda says, the new catfish. We talk about getting catfished online all the time. If you don't know what that is,
Man.
it's when people are come online and act as if they're somebody else, and they're really hiding behind a persona, and you kind of get fooled. They got nefarious intentions. All kinds of stuff goes on with the catfishing. Marla Harrison says oral history is very important. I hear that. Tisa Harden in the chat says, get your family health history while you're together. There you go.
Mm.
When you have those family reunions, do that. Exchange some of that. Find out what's going on. You can learn a lot from a family member that has something, what their dad had, or what your grandfather has, and it tells you a lot about what you need to be looking out for when it comes to your health. So that's a great idea. Not just sitting around eating bad food and talking about folks. Let's also do some good stuff during the family reunion too.
Hello.
Marlon says oral history is very important. Sometimes I wish I had recorded my grandparents' history when they were still alive. That's what I'm saying.
Man.
That's what I'm saying. This is the reason why I'm trying to do what I do, because I've missed some opportunities as well that I'm very mad at myself for. Why I sat at my house with all the recording equipment in the world and didn't record the grandparents.
Man.
So definitely. Also, Tisa Harden saying good for them. Talking about the kids getting outside. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes they get together and I'm also thinking about oral histories because I'm thinking about how different language is between the generations as well. It's almost like a way to not learn about your history is to come up with every slang word you can come up with and just talk amongst your friends in the language that you understand, and never really connect with the elders, and the elders never really speaking in the language that the kids understand, and there's a gap there as well. So when I'm seeing the few times I've seen kids running, getting together and running around, it was they were coming up with their own rules. It was kind of Lord of the Flies a little bit outside. Because they got their own set of values and rules and language with each other and so on and so forth, and it leads to and they're a bunch of folks running around with their frontal lobes not fully developed yet, and it turns into some mess.
Well, that's kind of been the situation with some of these teen takeovers, as we've been talking about, and now it's making its way to Omaha with some people, specifically the Omaha Police Officers Association, calling for a curfew. And I'm actually seeing some people in the community not necessarily also calling for the curfew, but sharing some concern about what they're seeing with these young folk as they congregate, as they get outside, especially in the Gene Leahy Mall area. Of course, I do find it interesting that all of this is brewing up as they prepare for College World Series, and we got company coming over, so let's clean up, which is yeah, it's kind of interesting. Yeah. But I digress. We have to talk about it nonetheless, as far as, again, what to not necessarily what to do, But how to respond? Let's just call it that way. How to respond to what we're seeing from our young folk, especially as they prepare for the summer, as things heat up, as people get freer, is could potentially get wilder if we don't respond in the right way. Which is my first question: is this the right response? Again, do you agree with the idea of a curfew for the young folk? Again, this is coming on the heels of what their WOWT is reporting as violence near Jean Leahy Mall, excuse me. And according to Patrick Dempsey, who is the current president of the Omaha Police Officers Association, declared an unlawful assembly, and there were pepper balls deployed. One officer, according to the article, was also punched in the face. And according to Dempsey, he says a large number of juveniles are coming down there on the weekends unaccompanied with no parents in sight, raising hell in our city. Multiple fights. We have to clear everybody out for their safety. In a statement on Monday, Mayor John Ewing called on young people to be responsible and for parents to engage their kids on the matter, saying what we've seen over the past weekends is not okay. And I'd ask youth themselves to be responsible when you do go out. I ask parents to affirm that message. Something that I, definitely agree with. Tell your kids to, act like they got some sense, but the call for a curfew, especially as again things are heating up this summer. There's a lot of activities. What say you?
Well, Tisa Harden in the chat says yes, curfew.
Okay.
So there's one answer there. Everybody else, let us know what you think of this as well. It's a little bit of a tough one for me because everything that I start with is who's going to enforce that, and what does enforcement look like? If I trusted enforcement a little bit more, then I wouldn't have a problem with ideas like curfews. I don't like the fact they out there shooting kids with pepper balls. We talk. You said the sentence in the article: pepper balls were deployed, and to me, that's one of them separation kind of statements. They shot them kids with pepper balls. You know what I'm saying? They weren't pepper balls weren't deployed. They shot them kids with pepper balls because they wouldn't disperse. They wouldn't do what they said and all that. And you know what happens when they get out there and I told you to move. I told you this. I told you that. And they get defied. Then they start getting violent. So I don't really like that part. The idea of the curfew, possibly yes. I don't really see how much. I mean, to me, I do feel like kids kind of get together and get into some trouble. The later it gets, the later it gets is less adults out. Is really what that actually means. The later it gets. I've been. As a matter of fact, I was just recently out late for some reason downtown, Old Market area, and there was a lot of kids running around because all the stores were closed. There was only a few bars open, a few people around, but these kids were obviously not old enough to be in these bars. And so why were they out there? I don't know, but 5 minutes after I'm seeing them, there's a lot of yelling and people pushing each other over by Eat the Worm. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I can understand why people want a curfew. I just don't like how it will be enforced, I guess is the best way for me to put that.
Yeah. We had a conversation. We went to the presentation for Brother Leo Lewis and what he's doing with Revolutionary Lion, I think is the name of it. Or Visionary Lion. The name of his organization. If y'all, seen Brother Leo Lewis, especially at the parades and Omaha Days activities out giving waters and things like that, there is, what he's putting down as far as a community policing model. If they were involved, is that something that you feel comfortable with being a curfew for the young folk?
I would, yeah, I would. I would still, yeah, I would. I would definitely be. Now that we're learning all these steps, we were learning the steps of like you can be policed or you can have maybe security out there, which is a step down. You got the groups that Leo Lewis is with that is a step down from that, even because they don't engage. They just encourage, and then you got the kids that are they're just there by themselves, or whether or not their parents know they're there or whatever. You got these different levels. Yes, if organizations like Leo Lewis's organization and others like it would be the ones that tried to help those situations out some, then yeah, I would absolutely. You probably wouldn't need a curfew then at that point though. From like I feel like I hate to take away, kids being kids, just getting out away from their families and being able to get together and do what they do. But I do think there needs to be some regulation. But I don't think that it needs to be policed. It's just like, to me, it's like a mental illness call. Like, you don't need the police for every situation. Um, if they get a little loud, then they get the police called on them, and sometimes it makes half the time it makes things worse when that's the situation.
Yeah, that seems kind of be the general consensus from a couple of chat chimers. I see Marlon Harrison, Cameron Snipe in the chat. Marlon says these team takeovers ain't nothing new. People been doing this since I was in middle school. So why is this such a big deal now? Also, Cameron is saying, and it still doesn't address the issue. If they don't go downtown, they will find somewhere else to go, which is something Marlon is also echoing, talking about third spaces, saying, but that won't address the lack of third spaces for kids and teens, which is something I'm thinking about. If you get a Leo Lewis or just anybody in the community to create a space for these young folk to do, be young, be outside, socialize in person, live alive with one another with other young folk, and do so safely. I will say as a teen, maybe midnight, after midnight, what you doing? Especially if you ain't in the clubs, you ain't in the bars. I'm not sure.
I mean, you hanging out. You got to be somewhere spending some money. Can't you just hang out outside in the parking lot, talk to your friends? Just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. But
You
I
sit up
think
there in your parents' face during the day, so now you away from that, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the spaces. I also like what Brother Bill King is saying, kind of along that line. He
Hey,
says there's no infrastructure, no youth infrastructure, no amusement park, family fun centers, no update parks, no yearly jobs except Step Up Omaha. Which they Step Up Omaha is doing what they can, but that can't be the only game in town for the young folk. I definitely understand that. And are there still any teen clubs? Like I do remember back in the day, like we had the Roxy. There was I think a teen club over there by the airport. Are there any teen clubs like as far as late night, kind of teen fun? What is there for them to do on that front? I'm not sure.
it's a tough one. I was raised in a way that I ain't gonna be outside after midnight hanging out like that.
Hmm.
And if I am, I'm there for a purpose. I'm there because of something, or whatever. And yeah, but there was times when I had like downtime enough to be able to like go with a crowd of kids and go get in trouble doing something. So I mean, goes both ways. When we talking about, we also got to bring into this conversation the fact that we're talking about black youth in Old Market
Mm.
in Omaha, because if it was white kids, it just, well, boys, well, kids are kids, boys will be boys. They hopped the fence and they went over there and teased the dog, and then and it's fine for them. But if you got a bunch of black kids walking around being loud in the street, then it's something different too. We got to talk about it. But
Not teasing
Michael
the
Lee in the
dog.
chat said, Marlon hitting the nail on the head. Also, Kimmer said, let's keep it real. It's college World Series time. They got to clean up. Right.
That's what I'm saying.
We have a bunch of loud black kids in the Old Market when College World Series is going down. They got to clean that up
We got company.
during the time that we have the least amount of crime in the city. Kimber says there's nothing for the youth for the youth, and Dave and Buster's don't count. Nothing for the youth, and Dave and Buster's don't count. Yeah,
Hmm.
we can argue that there's nothing for the youth. Like, buddy, you are witnessing a whole lot of things to do. Maybe not after midnight, but you also got younger kids. We're not thinking about older teenagers that
Yeah,
got
yeah.
no economy and 16 over that got cars now and so on. Like, we're always talking about this gap of kids that are like from 14 to 22. What do they have to do out here?
Can't go to the bar. You know what I mean? Yeah, but they want to be out late. They, some of them are working. They have discretionary funds. What is it for them to do?
RG says, I mean, back in my day, taking the bus at the crossroads and walking around all day used to be the teen takeover deal.
Man, you know what I'm saying?
But
Hit the tilt.
you told me you also used to be out there wilding out a little bit too, right? You did that out and about and probably late night. Like I said, we all did. Wanda Lewis says, maybe the police can take some pointers from Creighton University. Tell me about that, Miss Lewis. Did we miss your comment earlier? Let me know what Creighton University is doing. Tisa Harden says there were things back in our day. We used to have midnight bowling on Ames Street.
Man, I remember we used to go to like the YMCA. We used to have sleep-ins. Like you would go to the YMCA
Really?
and yeah, there'd be a lock-in at the YMCA. They'll have games, food, might even have a
Oh man.
DJ come out and you be in the Y. You play the games, get on the computers, go to the basketball gym, and you team, you young folks, everybody, out there socializing. Is that
Interesting.
still a thing?
Interesting you say that because I went to the Y no, not the Y. I went to Miller, not Miller Park, Adams Park the other day because
Adams?
sometimes I take little man to go ball inside. Right, we were there about 5 o'clock on Friday evening. They had been closed for 2 hours. He was like, we closed down at 3 o'clock. I was like, you closed the gym down at 3 o'clock? Yeah. So you close the gym closes before kids get out of school, so that like when kids get out of school, they can't come to the gym and play ball and like hang out. No. Okay. So what is it here for then? Just the kids, you know, wait till summer. Is that what they're doing? They just wait till summer for kids to come during the day, and then the rest of the year it's not open past school hours. Like why have the park? Why have the gym if it's not going to be open? So and that reminds me of what you're talking about the why. Like what time is the why close? How late can kids be there? Can they be there by themselves? A lot of questions. Michael Lee says they destroyed spaces for young black people consistently. William King in the chat. Good morning, King. He says we had to build infrastructure in North Omaha. Our children have nowhere to go but downtown. Yeah, like Kimmer's point, they'll go downtown if there's something to do north side. They'll do it on the north side. The point is like where can they go? What's the rule? What's the rule here? I mean, I really can't fight against the idea of a curfew, because it is kind of like what do you do? Because it always not always, but sometimes it turns into some mess when they get together unsupervised, for sure. And then it's on the parents. Kimmer says my son is an officer at Creighton. Yeah, let us know what they're doing at Creighton that's working. Tisa Harden says that's the access they should have. Definitely public community centers and parks.
Man, that's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
The Y, Hope Center, parks
Mm-hmm.
like Adams Park. Yeah, they have centers there. Why not open that up?
Why not open it up after? Yeah, I mean, maybe they got the manpower to have it open after hours or something. Shout out to Chrome Lewis. Marlon Harris says Chrome was hosting teen parties, but sadly too many fights broke out at the last teen party. I'm not really scared of fights breaking out all the time. I think that happens when you get a lot of young people together. You just got to have of course, I worked security for like 12 years in LA, so that's why I come at it with we can de-escalate the fights so the kids can have. I've worked teen clubs in California. Now that I think about it, we can de-escalate the fights. There's not a whole lot of de-escalating the violence if that pops off. But check. You got to pat down at the door to stop that from at any club. Senator Terrell McKinney in the chat. Good morning. He says if they actually practice community policing, the outcomes will be different. There's also nothing open after 8 p.m. in North Omaha. So where would they go?
Right. That's
There you go.
restaurants included. There's nothing to eat, ain't nothing to do in North Omaha at a certain time.
There you go. Pops in the chat says our parents just told us to be back in the house when the streetlights came on. Said I don't think most people, kids or adults, ought to be out after 10 or 11. After midnight is when bad jumps off. Yeah, I can see that. Lynn Mills in the chat. Good morning. He says I think it's wrong for the police to fire pepper balls into a crowd. Right? Can the city put community leaders out on Saturday night in the park to engage the teens in some positive engagement with maybe some games, water and snacks? Engage the teens in some positive. Yeah. I feel you. I feel you on that. Senator McKinney says curfew should be citywide, not just downtown. There you go. If they're gonna do it, because black kids will be disproportionately affected. This is why they're even thinking about it, bro. This is why they're even thinking about it.
But my issue is what kind of environment does that create? You know what I mean? If we have an enforceable curfew, does that mean at 11 o'clock midnight we have officers roaming the city just looking for kids? You know what I mean? And now they can arrest the kids. Now they can charge them as adults. Now kids might have guns because of some of the laws. Like, is this really the right mix?
Good question. Something to think about. We'll take a break and think about it a little bit. Before we do, just shout out to everybody who was in the chat that I missed here. RG saying, shout out to the Urban Survival Club of Omaha for giving the local young black men a space to engage in a real way
Man,
without electronics.
man. Actually,
So,
speaking of that, I want to get into some solutions when we come back.
yeah, I love that. I love that. Wanda Lewis says, get those natural healing remedies too. Okay. Pop says,
Okay.
yes, my great grand. Oh, we were talking about earlier oral histories. Pop says, my great grandfather started with the first slave brought to America.
Mm.
Then he would name all his sons and daughters and their sons and daughters all the way down to 5-year-old me. That's the kind of stories we used to hear at the feet of our great grandfathers. The oral histories being passed down that way.
Man.
Yep. Kimmer Snipes says, in hindsight, knowing my family history gave me something to fight the narrative that was being taught to me in schools.
That's the biggest thing.
That's the biggest thing. She said, I knew I was descendant of the blue hen chicken.
Mm.
Okay. I'm not familiar with that. Let us know what that is. Marla Harrison says, I'm planning a family reunion for my mom, dad's side of the family. I didn't realize how much work goes into planning family reunions. You ain't lying.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's not easy.
It's really not. But hopefully we can tap in and do some real things during family reunions, like, things that can help with our health and everything else. So appreciate that. We'll go ahead and take a quick break and come right back and jump back into the rest of the stories. It's 8:25 right now. If you believe in the concept of time and you live in Omaha, Nebraska, and you're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, he's Buddy the God. You're the
Hey.
chat timers, ghost listeners. Somebody put a post out about monitoring spirits.
Really?
I was like, yeah. I was like, okay, they're using my term. I love it. Said, all these monitoring spirits out here watching you. Sometimes that ain't fun either. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all.
Don't touch nothing.
We're turning up the heat for Omaha Freedom Festival's night concert with Carrie Hilson, Life Jennings, and R&B superstar and Grammy-nominated Nivea, hosted by Josh Jones and music by DJ Chang. Don't miss one of the biggest R&B nights Omaha has ever seen. Join us Saturday, June 13th at Gene Leahy Mall Pavilion. Doors open at 7 p.m. Concert starts at 8:30 with fireworks after. Tickets at OmahaFreedomFestival.com or in person at LaFleur's New Look Fashion. Celebrate culture, music, and community at the Omaha Freedom Festival.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy the God. We got tickets that we're going to be giving away for that Freedom Festival. It's going to be at Gene Leahy Mall. I wonder if there's going to be a curfew by then. There'll be a lot of black folks in Gene Leahy Mall on that day. On the 13th. I wonder if this will, we'll see.
Man, where you going, boy?
What you doing? Who's Life Jennings anyway? Who?
Man.
We'll have Calvin Williams on the show Friday to talk a little bit more about what's going on coming up. Again, our this is our final week of this season. Follow the money. The Follow the Money season. We want to know if you've learned anything, if there's anything that has come up in our conversations that have furthered your education as far as how money moves in the city, what's going on in the economy, and what, who gets what and where it goes. Like a lot of things we covered over this course of the season. We kind of made it really broad to talk about how money moves things. Economic power is one of the lanes of change. How do we navigate that? How do we work with that? And what does it mean? And how have we been affected? These are all questions that we want to hear from you on. So let us know. You can always hit us up on an email, firstskyOmaha@gmail.com, or you can always put your story in Friends of First Sky Omaha, the group page on Facebook. Definitely love to hear from you. Wow. Chat's going off. What just happened?
Yeah. They still talking about the topic. Seems like we hitting it.
Spark
We hitting
some. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah,
You tell me if you're looking at it. Do you want to jump on to the next story? You want to jump to the chat real quick?
No, we can jump into the chat, and it's gonna roll us right into the next story. Again, talking about solutions as we round out the show in this last 30 minutes or so. But yeah. Are you done with your spiel? I want you
Yeah.
to. Yeah, okay. My back. So I definitely was looking at the chat. Big shout out to everybody commenting right now. Brother Bill King saying we had an opportunity with the millions of dollars that the senators brought to the community to build businesses and infrastructure. However, they chose the airport district to invest in. I mean, yeah, the airport is getting more money, but I don't know, Brother King. I think we are going to start seeing the impacts of some of that money and some of those projects here very, very soon.
Hmm.
So just hold on, be a little patient. Also, Sister Camera giving us a little insight to her family history, talking about Blue Hen Chicken was a slave who lost 8 of her children sold into slavery. She is our ancestor. She escaped slavery with her last 2 children. Man, talking about that story, talking about that continuity.
Yeah.
Also, man, this is really what I was paying attention to. Big shout out to those coming with some of the solutions. Speaking of solutions, around the country, Anthony Rogers Wright says programs like Washington D.C.'s late night hype keep community centers, pools, and libraries open late on the weekends. Man, libraries too. Dope.
That's what I'm saying.
These events provide food, music, activities, and secure environments. I mean, yeah, I mean that'll be dope. That'll be dope. Sean McCarthy saying just in general, I wonder what other cities do in regards to this issue. Talking about Atlanta, Chicago, Kansas City, Denver, in regards to curfews. I know in Atlanta there was several situations before I left of these teen takeovers and violence kind of coming out of it. There's some shootings and things like that. So I am curious to see how Atlanta has responded, especially speaking of company being in town. Atlanta getting ready for the World Cup. Actually, I
Mm.
think most of these cities getting ready for the World Cup. Kansas, for sure, getting ready for the World Cup. So I do wonder, how does that impact how the city is responding to the youth getting active?
Hmm.
Yeah. And then kind of rounding out with Anthony Rogers right before we get into this next article, he's really echoing what Sister Clarice Donbeck is saying, talking about getting some money into the young folks' pockets,
Mm.
saying expanded year-round and summer youth employment programs give teens financial independence and keep them actively engaged in work or skill building rather than on the streets. Now,
Mm.
he also says grants to local community organizations help fund street outreach, conflict mediation, and wraparound services for families facing housing or financial instability, which are often root causes for kids leaving home at night, which I definitely, man, appreciate all of that. And again, echoing exactly what Sister Clarice Donbeck is saying, and there is a call to action to help fight in that effort as far as getting the young folk some money, giving them working and staying active
Mm.
and some constructive things. Clarice Donbeck on social media on Facebook says, to be clear, violent crimes by young people have actually decreased, which is something that I have seen as far as reports throughout social media in regards to FBI numbers and several other outlets saying that violent crime is actually down. But again, in recent times, we've seen this curfew conversation and saying that eat up police propaganda, as we say, if you want to. But if we as a society, excuse me, agree to further marginalize young people by enforcing a curfew based on what the police say, well, hello, police state, hello, over policing, hello, authoritarianism. If you want to be a part of the solution, how about you get down to city council and support equal pay for young people? Which again, you do have the opportunity to do just that tomorrow, as city council is slated to vote and decide on this $15 amount minimum wage situation,
Mm.
following the footsteps of Lincoln. Again, there is a law that was passed at the state level that has a phased approach as far as moving minimum wage along. But as a part of that bill, there was a separate youth kind of allotment set. I think 13.50 was the youth minimum wage, which is down from the $15 standard minimum wage set by the law. I think one chat chimer earlier saying that's age discrimination by making a different minimum wage for young folk. And again, tomorrow you have the opportunity to speak up. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard at city council to fight for this. Again, $15 minimum wage for all workers, not just for those who are like 18 and up.
Hmm.
What say you?
It just it's not enough. You know.
Yeah. As far as the minimum wage, is that like $15 not enough money, or are you saying just getting money into the young folks is not enough to help push the needle?
Yes. all of the above.
Okay,
$15
okay.
is not enough. It's not enough to push the needle. Um, having having a job, it will definitely help. Making enough money at that job where it's worth it definitely helps. But the money, the what they're raising it to is just not enough, and that can't be, and that's not the only solution. It's not going to be enough of a solution, but it can be part of a solution. So, not that I'm trying to take anything away from it. It could be
Hmm.
part of a solution for the job situation to get taken care of. Like William King is saying, Step Up Step Up Omaha is the only organization that consistently hires Black youth.
Mm.
When we went to that event that Empowerment Network had, we saw personally 600 kids that were getting ready to get jobs. I think this year it was around 650. They're going for 1,000 kids a year to be able to do summer jobs. Um, so yeah, I mean, it could be definitely a part of this, but I don't feel like it's going to be enough. Um, So, and again, man, I can't come out of this conversation without reminding myself that we're talking about Black youth here. This is what we really talk. We're really talking
Hmm.
about is Black youth,
Hmm.
and you know, so it's just not a solution. And when we're talking about jobs and minimum wage, it ain't all youth that have minimum wage jobs. Number one, like
Hmm. Yeah. Somebody mentioned earlier, as far as the college students coming out and taking up all the, McDonald's and Burger King and Walmart gigs and Baker's gigs because of AI and how the job market is looking just in general. It's rough for everybody. So the young folk who have the least amount of skills, the least amount of experience, the least amount of maturity, frontal lobe cortex, development, they're kind of at the bottom bottom end of the totem pole when it comes to that. So yeah, but as again we were talking about the struggle mills earlier, families are struggling. So I could see teens wanting to work to get themselves some Chick-fil-A sometimes or get eat a
having
little
to work.
something. Right, right. Having to work. Right, 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 right. In some situations, but also what kind of is jumping out to me is even having more money. If I'm a young person with just more money and nothing else to do, that still doesn't help. I can go to work. What am I going to? How am I going to socialize? Is really the issue. What
Right.
is there for these young people to do socially? Third place.
And you got a couple more dollars in your pocket. We
Right.
we doing all this fighting. Got to go to City Hall and do all this fighting to get $1.50 more or something. What was it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Yeah, I definitely had that feeling like, okay, all right, let's go get him $15. Not,
Man. Man. I like what Sister Kimmer is saying in the chat. She says, "No need to reinvent the wheel. We become a monthly donor of the BAA, which again, yeah, that's also what I'm thinking of beyond the jobs, man. Just community, like it's one thing to have a job. That's again, young people should be working. If you want to get a job, if you need to get a job to help, support with the family, you should be getting paid. When I worked at Burger King, I was making $7.50 an hour. So yeah, if they can make 15, man, man, kudos to them. Kudos to them. But I am thinking more so of some of the other things that's happening in the community that goes beyond that. Shout out to the BAA. Speaking of the BAA and what Brother Kasim is doing with the young folk in this urban survival club. Again, not just giving them skills that they could use to be employed and at some point provide for themselves and eventually their families. But beyond that, the mental skills, the morality, those things go a long way beyond just having a little funds in your pockets. That teaches you what to do with the funds when you get them.
it teaches you to go get them first.
Man, for sure, for
And,
sure.
have some discipline and have some goals. Go get it, and then what you do with it when you got it. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I think it's expanded. I love to see the partnership between Malcolm X Memorial Foundation and BAA. You're right, Kimber. This is funding groups that got boots to the roots that are actually working with the kids is the way to go. And working with the kids is this is something that they can take with them after hours, after, when they do go downtown. They learn how to be protectors instead of agitators, all the things that you need, because there really shouldn't be no issues with kids kind of flexing their independence and being able to be around their own friends and those dynamics. If you're
Mm.
teaching, if I got taught, do your own thing. Don't let nobody talk you into nothing. Don't let
Hmm.
you, what I'm saying, or be the leader. Don't stop the group from doing something silly. All them dynamics happen as well. We want to talk about kids being downtown, just starting a bunch of mess all the time, but that's not everything that happens all the time. There's also protectors, and there's also, there's things that go down that are also positive. So there's no reason why it couldn't be when I see people like Brother Kasim in the BAA, in the Urban Survival Club. I'm seeing the biggest reason for that is not just to teach them how to fish, but to teach them how to act and teach them how to be men. And it's an important thing. And I think that is going to be what makes the real difference when they inevitably get somewhere by themselves
Oh
and
yeah,
congregate and hang out.
man, definitely, definitely. Actually, echoing that, Sister Kimber in the chat, saying the one of the young men in the picture that was in the green shirt and glasses, she says is one of her Sunday school students, and he loves the program. Saying Mr. Kasim teaches me how to be a man, which is huge. She said, it made my heart smile, and I can think of just man handfuls of experiences, moments in my life where being courageous enough to not be cool in that moment, being courageous enough to like yeah, I'm gonna get out the car. Yeah, I'm not gonna ride with y'all, or yeah, I'm gonna do this instead of doing that. In times where I said, yeah, I'm gonna do this with y'all, and ended up like, man, I should have never. So, man, knowing those situations, like having that courage and having the skills to be a man and to stand on your own too, definitely goes a long, long way.
That's real.
So yeah, can't really underestimate or understate what Brother Kasim is doing with these young folk. And I wanted to echo that because as we're having this conversation, I don't want it to get lost on us as far as the responsibility that we all have. It's really on us to create the environment for these young folk. We're the ones owning the businesses. We're the ones, directing some of the funds, and we're the ones in the mayor's office. Everybody listening to the show. What are we gonna like? What does that say about us that the environment isn't safe for our young folk?
Yeah.
How can we do a better job at creating, the environment that we wanted as young folk? Like, how can the child within all of us help in this situation, help us rise to this occasion?
Right. We often talk about family support here too, and I think about that a lot as well. It's easy for people sometimes to say the parents need to be making sure their kids don't go out here acting crazy. Parents, a lot of times they're really doing the best they can, but the family needs support sometimes too, and that's really what it comes down to. A lot of these kids aren't, or if they're out hanging out, it's not all, everybody don't have a daddy or something like that, so it ain't all that all the time. Sometimes they got parents, they just are out, and they and they are trying to hang out, they're trying to exert some independence, or whatever the deal. So I feel like really equipping them before they get out there is the answer, and also to direct some things too. You create the environment. I think about how they talk about how like plants grow. You don't reach into the seed and pull the root and try to make this plant come out forcefully. You have to create the environment around for the plant to be able to do anything. The atmosphere has to be right. The dirt has to be right. The water has to be flowing. If it's a certain kind of plant, you might even have to put plastic over it in order to keep the humidity in, depending on the weather. There's all kinds of things you got to do to
Man,
create the environment. I know because I'm trying to grow lemon and orange trees around here, in
hey,
Nebraska.
Dr.
Yeah,
Green Thumb.
yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. I should everything. But see, the point is that you got to learn how to you got to make something for the environment. William King in
Mm.
the chat is talking about that too. He said that's why we have to build financed businesses and support entrepreneurs in North Omaha for sure, especially if they're doing something that is for the kids. We have somebody in our class that interviewed a organization that
Yeah.
who, I forgot the name of that.
The Hollis Experience Corporation,
Holland, yeah, something. Yeah, was it Hollis or Holland?
Hollins, I believe. Hollins.
No,
Y'all jump in the chat if you're familiar.
yeah, but they have something that they have put together, in order to have a place for them to bring their kids that they don't have to spend a whole bunch of money. That was kind of the thing that I took from it as well. It's a facility. Okay, now I got to find it. We got to talk
Yeah,
about
it's the Hollins Group.
the Hollins Group. Okay, let's see what it is. This is the organization that struck me as like, oh, okay. No, man, I don't think it's the Hollins Group. It's something else. We'll find it and get back to you on that. But it's an organization a couple put together because they were tired of not having a place to take their kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you got games. He said they were playing bid whist there, shooting pool. They were doing all kinds of stuff. It was almost like community center status, where you can go and all kinds of different hours and people can come hang out. It's like $10 per person or something like that. We'll have to get more information on it. He did a whole piece on it back in the day, but it just struck me as like, yeah, when we talk about fun things to do that kids maybe want to get into, especially these kids, man, it ain't hard, bro. Open up a spot that got some VR glasses and some iPad.
Man,
Like, it
man.
ain't hard. These kids all the way up at 18, 19, 20 still playing games and stuff. Just open up a space. Like, it ain't gotta be a whole bunch of nothing. Just, some snacks and some games.
I'm saying these community centers, the Hope Center, these YMCA's. I even like the libraries, like having the resources to do that. Also, I am also thinking of shout out to Bud Crawford. You talk about planting seeds, man. That's in spaces, like in environments. He's definitely doing what he can to build the garden that he's building, and bearing some of the fruit as far as some of the athletes coming, nationally now. Speaking of a champion, that's one of the things that you talked about, Paul, as far as what's needed in the community to grow it and to spur development and to spur change, and having a champion. And Bud Crawford is literally that, and has been that for the community, having not only people from the community go to his boxing gym, which is now going to, man, it's actually, we got a picture for that.
Well, let's break down what it is.
Man, because it's growing. If you don't know, the B&B Sports Academy, which is right on the north side, right off of North 30th, of course, where he trains right now and has celebrities from around the world again go to the boxing gym, and is now about to grow to what you see on your screen, a huge not just boxing gym but sports academy, planning to build an 88,000 square foot facility just north of the current building on Sprague Street. The site is south of the North Omaha Transit Center, but will have basketball and volleyball courts, an elevated 200-meter track, of course, a boxing gym, also wrestling area, and other amenities. Of course, founded by Bud Crawford, reused the industrial building in that area. It's going to be huge, man. It's going to be huge. I think this is part of that area that the city sold to him for like $1. If you remember when he had the parade, Marriage Stothard gave him some land. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is what he's doing.
Interesting. I was thinking that this was over there where that OOIC building was, because he got that property over there too, huh? So this is this is another property up on 30th, closer to B&B Boxing. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, right behind. I think there's another warehouse right behind where the gym is right now that they're going to be expanding. But he owns a lot of property over there, right there, by the transit center, just off of 30th, kind of behind Timeout.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Transit.
Yeah, where the boxing gym is now.
On the other side though, because there's a school.
Yeah. It's like behind it.
Oh, I see. Interesting. I tell you what, man, they're doing some good work over there. I know a lot of people that got their kids over there at B&B Boxing. And what struck me the time that I was there, I was seeing that it wasn't just a boxing gym. Even now, they had basketball courts outside. They were pushing kids to do all kinds of different kinds of sports. So this is going to be a full sports academy with a whole bunch of other disciplines here. This is going to be huge. The proximity I'm thinking to the stadium that's going to happen in North. This area is going to be sports central in a minute.
Man, I didn't even think about that. Plus, what's going down at Carter Lake with the sports facility that's going there. So, yeah, man, a huge investment in youth sports around the area, which I'm all about. I'm all about the sports, even if you're not going to the league per se. Just teamwork and all the skills and moral things that you learn from sports goes a long way.
Big time. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and wrap up the show. Before I go to a break, I just want to give a shout out to the Illuminarium
Hey.
who's putting on an event called Groove After Dark, 627. Mark your calendars for this. Explore community creativity and the scientific understanding of living life deep in the groove. I wonder who put that out there. That's a nice little lyric. Somebody got
In the
borrowed over
groove.
there. Might be Connie Franco over there with that one.
In the
Uh,
groove.
Groove in the Groove. Join us for a community conversation moderated by yours truly, Paul B. of First Guy
Hey.
Omaha, where,
Palmy.
where we will be exploring the question of what it looks like when community and neighborhoods are built naturally and organically rather than just following the ambitions of developers. What can we learn from Omaha's rich cultural history to support community? Let us know. Get your tickets today. I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat for you to get your tickets to come check this out. I think it's going to be a funky good time. I'm going to definitely dig in with this conversation big time, man. This is kind of a lot of what we talk about, what we've been talking about for a while as well. Even with this conversation, how can a community for kids be built instead of just planned? We're talking about a
Man.
lot of these things that we got to wait on for money to come and open up and get workers to come and work after hours so kids can have a place to go at night and all this other stuff. But how do you organically? This is what kids are really after. I feel like organically putting their spots together. What do you got to
Man.
have for that? What kind of garden you got to put together for that to grow?
Really, that's what we need, man. Like, how do we create an environment where these young folk can create their own scenes? Like, that's what really drives the culture, man. These young folk having agency, creating their own scene, congregating around like interests. You know what I mean? Where's the young folk skateboarding, killing the scene? Where's the young folk doing the music scene? Where's the young folk doing the art scene? Like, where is that?
Because you got to remember that the age we're talking about is the age of that expression. So they get a little taste of something over here, they learn a little something over here, and then they take that, and now that they're at that age, they got to build their own thing with that. So shout out to organizations like the Bay that's killing the
Man,
game. I mean, you can go to the Bay and learn how to make beats, skate, so much stuff that they'll teach you. But that's not the end of the story. It's not just drop them off at the Bay and let them learn how to skate and do some things and hang out. What do they take? What do they do with that when they take it? Where do they take it? How do they build their own thing from it? That's really what that is there for as well. It's part of that garden that allows that stuff to grow. So where is it that you can let kids? This has been my problem with like the curfew piece and the rest of it. Like, where do you let them go be free for a minute?
hmm
Because how can you provide a safe environment, a safe situation for them to be able to be free and explore, make some mistakes, you know, adjust whatever needs to happen from the things. Give them some things to learn. Give them some things to organize. Give them some sports. Give them some things that they can learn how to work with other people. Some lessons. But then let them go take them lessons and go make their own thing out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can go to piano lessons all your life, but if you don't take that home and learn how to write something, then you just repeating
Man, you know, start a band with it and create your own piece. What you doing?
what you're doing. So gotta have something like that in order for people to grow. We got about 8 minutes left in the show. We'll take a little teeny quick break and then we'll come back,
Yeah.
wrap the show up. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
First Sky loves the kids. We'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, buddy to God. We got some things coming up here shortly. We are locking down a date for our Chat Chimers kickback. What was that date, buddy? You remember?
28th.
28th of this month, June.
Yep.
It's coming up. We are locking down the place, and we'll let you know about that as soon as we put that together. But 28th of June, that's a Sunday, is when we're looking at putting the Chat Chambers Kickback together. We got a couple ideas flowing about some places and some things to do. We were trying to make it a jam session. We're
Yeah,
thinking
man.
about making part of it a little bit more of a grown folks thing, and a kind of bringing your kids in the cookout during the day, and then maybe a little grown folks situation later. We're working around a few things, but it really depends on the where. So stay tuned for that news. But the 28th is the date. Mark your calendars. We will be doing a Chad Chalmers kickback on that date.
Yeah, man.
And if anything changes, we'll let you know. You have to make sure you pay attention to the First Sky Omaha page on Facebook, and also Friends of First Sky Omaha group page as well. We'll put it there and let you know more about that. We had a few things that I'm sorry that we're not going to be able to get to. Unfortunately, I really wanted to talk about what they're trying to pin on the mayor. They're trying to act like the mayor is doing some things right. Is getting hit with a lawsuit.
We know what it is, man. We know.
Yeah, we still got to talk about it a little bit. It's kind of but we can wait. We can wait till Wednesday and talk about it a little bit more. And some of those things too. There's a little bit of controversy going on here with a few different things. Mm-hmm.
I will say though, speaking of controversy, before we get out of here, I did want to get into this Rose Theater situation.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Because again, before we went into break, we're talking about the young folk having a place to be free, having to be creative, to do the things. But what happens when they do that? They go to organizations, they get the skills, they feel free enough, and they want to take it to the stage, and they still get some pushback, get some flack, get some racism. We as a community got to step up. So again, big
racism.
Good old fashioned Omaha racism. Shout out to IB Black Girl for stepping up and protecting the youth though, because as they say, we don't play about our babies, man. So again, shout out to IB Black Girl putting out a statement. If you didn't hear about the situation, again, this is coming on the heels of a young sister, a young black actress who was cast as Elsa in the Rose Theater's upcoming production of Frozen, the Disney film. And according to the IB Black Girl's post, as the Rose stated, she was cast because she was the best performer for the role, period. But apparently some folks out in the community wasn't too happy about that and made some comments, some racial comments. And we're not going to get too much into the comments that they made, but definitely wanted to dive into, again, IB Black Girl's response, as you see on the screen. They say, we don't play about our babies. Again, recently, racist comments targeted a young black actress, as the Rose stated. She was the best for the job, and we refuse to let hate have the final word. IBBG has purchased 146 tickets of Frozen, and we're inviting our community to show up for this talented young actress and every young person who deserves to see themselves reflected on stage, because that's what a village does. We protect our own. Tickets will be available free of charge when the box office opens. Bring the family and let's fill that theater with love. Every child deserves the opportunity to dream without having their humanity questioned. Every child deserves to know that their gifts belong center stage, and every child deserves a community willing to stand beside them. So again, big shout out to IBBG if you want to check that out. And maybe I don't know, maybe sometime I can take my children too. A little free movie night out on the Frozen with my girls, man. So yeah, shout out to IBBG. Shout out to the Rose for putting out that statement, for picking up this young lady as lead. And hopefully the support that she's getting from her community will push her forward, man. Might be the next Gabrielle Union. We need coming out of Omaha.
Come on with it. She does respond. You have to look for what she had to say about this too recently. But this is the post that went out. This is what drew all the ire of the racists right here. Frozen, and they got the lead person as a black woman. And they did not like that, and they went way too far. So it wasn't just, this is another woke version. They thought that's all they were going to get. Nah, they got some straight up good old fashioned racism. And Rose Theater, for those who don't know, Rose Theater is a theater for the kids.
Man.
So these are children that they're getting all this online racist ridiculous for. This is why we hate trolls and hate people that come on the chat talking junk all the time. Speak as if we're speaking to each other face to face, please. You wouldn't go to a child's face and say that mess to her. We ain't gonna get into the mess they said, but anyway, that's the situation. And again, shout out to IB Black Girl, who has purchased 146 tickets to make sure that the house is packed for this young lady and know that she's supported. What a move! That's a cold move. That's a gangster move right there for IB Black Girl to do that. Go ahead and put this statement out. That's what's up.
And buy the place out. buy it out. Like, oh, okay, y'all want to hate? We'll pull up and support. Watch this.
Mhm. Right. We don't need your ticket. Stay
Man,
home. You won't
keep
see
keep your
nobody.
keep your bigoted money at home.
You bigoted bills in your billfold.
Your dead slave masters.
Your bigoted bills in your billfold. Keep them in there.
Mm-hmm.
Pop says, man, there's just no cure for stupid. It really ain't.
It really ain't.
It really ain't,
It really
Pops.
ain't. Except for reading. But hey.
If you're stupid, you don't do that. Marlon Harrison said June 28th already got something going on. Let me know what it is. If it's
That's the 26th. It's the 26th.
Our thing is on 26th.
Okay. I thought he was talking about the Frozen thing. The Frozen thing is on the 26th. Yes. Chat Charmer Kickback is the 28th.
Yeah. So let us know what's clashing with that.
Yeah.
Another reason why we're putting it out there now was we don't like clashing with stuff. Let us know.
Yeah.
Stuart Knight said their funding will be cut soon. Yeah, I was gonna say, man, anytime you I was thinking about that judge too. I was like, somebody gonna lose their job. Somebody Rose Theater, all of a sudden they're gonna be like, well, we decided we need to invest in some other things. They're gonna lose their funding, but hopefully not. I hear you on that.
Hopefully not.
And anyway, there is something we can do about that. Buy some tickets and show up. Shout
There
out to
you go.
Black Girl.
Yeah, they wouldn't need funding if you bought the ticket.
Or they still do, but you know. Yeah, we can help. We can help with that.
Yeah.
Thanks for everybody who joined us today. It is 9:00. If you believe in the concept of time and you live in Omaha, Nebraska, we appreciate everybody who's stuck with us the whole 2 hours.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing. That's it. I ain't got nothing else.
And that's all. We got to the end of it. I will definitely continue the conversation as we go. We do have a guest coming that's not confirmed on Wednesday, and then we have a confirmed guest, Calvin Williams, on Friday, which will technically be our last show of the season.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, so we're going to wrap this up again for this week. I would love to help talk about setting the intentions for the summer. What is it that you're going to do? What is it there to fight for? What do we need to be researching and getting ready for as the election season is coming up? How can we get together, live alive with one another, and how can we involve ourselves with a lot of the festivals that are going on here? Joy Fest that's happening, Noma Fest is going down, and of course this whole Juneteenth celebration that we're right in the middle of right now. As a matter of fact, things happening there. So dig in and find out what's happening. Also, shout out to Assembly of the Saints that has their summer camp going on all summer long for the babies as well. I'm glad to hear that people are signed up for this and getting down with them. That's what's up, man. Love it. Shout out to the few people that came out to celebrate Prince last night at Odo. Shout out to Odo and Kethro and them that put this on. And Kethro brought in some heavy hitting DJs, man. That's what that place is all about. If you're a DJ culture, record culture cat, you gotta do something over there. We be looking out. First guy Omaha might be over there spinning a little wax over there. Polyethylurethane or whatever it's called. We're gonna be spinning some discs and check some things out over there. So be in tune for that, and then of course definitely sign up for this Groove After Dark over there at the Luminary. I've been waiting to do something with them over there, so that's what's up,
man.
Shout out to Connie Franco and them. Yeah, I know it. It's,
you know,
man. How can
Marlon?
Now?
Man, Marlon.
What did Marlon say?
He not gonna come to the kickback because he watching the BET.
Marlon, I wish you would not come to the kickback. You know the white man on BET now anyway.
Come on, man. Man, catch the rerun. He said he got to see Drewski.
That's okay. All we got to say is it will be catered. There will be opportunity for 3 plates. Just saying. Drewski ain't feeding you. Drewski ain't feeding you. But you got some words for the people?
Man, big shout out to y'all for joining the conversation today. A lot of input, a lot of feedback. Let's keep talking about it. Because again, it's up to us, man. Let's help the youth. Create the environment for them to be them best selves. And bring back the village, man. That's what it's all about. We love you. We thank you. 2 episodes left. Stay tuned, y'all. Stay tuned. We ain't gonna be gone for too long, but we're definitely gonna be taking a little break, and then we'll be back for Teamwork Makes the Dream Work. In the meantime, between time, look out for the weekly wrap coming at you every Friday. Also, check us out on our website, firstskyOmaha.com. We are making updates. We still got our membership going. Click the join button. Get down today. And yeah, big shout out to those who have already done that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. In the meantime, between time, Paul B, take us out of here, man.
Before we go, I do want to tell you just a small little story about some youth running around over at Exarban Village, because this was very, very interesting to me, and this goes along with what we've been talking about this whole time. So apparently there's a group of kids. They're about 10, 11, 12, 6 or 7 of them, and they have been hustling people at Exarban Village for months. Hey, we have a football team, and we need to buy helmets. Would you please donate to our little black causes? And talking to the folks that work in the area are like, they've been out here for months trying to get them uniforms. Ain't no uniforms. They looked into it. There's no they out there. They have formed a hustle group, and they are, and their territory is Exarban. So first of all, don't get took by them kids. Second of all, something in me was like, these little kids is hustling out here.
Man, remind me of the Water Boys. Let's get some water.
Yeah, it's interesting because I see boldness in such young kids and like no fear of trying to scam you. And one of the owners that I was talking to was like, look, y'all they came in their spot. They're like, look, you got to get out of here, bro. Like, you got 2 ways to go. It's going to be me or the police. And them kids was like, all right. I was a little proud, but I was like, it's messed up. But yeah, they out there at Exarban, like in a group, walking around with clipboards and stuff, like full on scamming. And these are the kind of things that happens. Like I look at that kind of stuff. Like, you could take them kids, right? Them little smart, bold kids like that, bro. They gonna be the business owners and stuff like that later on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody gave them some direction instead of just treating them, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I admired how this particular owner was like, let me. I know what you guys is doing. Just you can't do it in here. Just go outside. You be cool. I admired how he didn't just call the cops on them. You know what I mean? Because that'll be the story. The story is that they will never take what they learn and like turn it into something prosperous and good later. But it's gonna be cats like that really kind of make some things happen, man. Little smart kids.
You see that, Bill King? He says they smart, go where the money is. Hey, one of the main rules of business is location. I'm just saying, get these kids the skills in the right direction. That could be the next investment group. You never know.
That's real. I love it. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Just wanted to reflect that because that was on my mind about these kids, man. We don't want just curfews and police on them,
man. Right?
There are kids too, bro. We want to be able to say that too. Hey, kids will be kids. They messed up. They did something that they experiment with their boldness. They experiment with their agency and their enterprise and everything. Like, they really, you know what I'm saying? Who's give them a job. Put them through some training. Like, nah, they're over there scamming, so they got to go to jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, they living on the edge, and we can be we can be on one side of the edge, pulling them back.
Man,
that's what I want to see.
There you go.
We're going to get out of here, man. Shout out to the Omaha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders allowing us to speak before you. Shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. Thanks for your comments, your questions, and your respect for our theme today, our line of our thread that we try to weave today. Appreciate that very much so. Appreciate you being on point with your great questions. And also shout out to the News Gang with Bill King in the house. Shout out to News Gang that's out there doing the hard work of trying to provide information for the people and engage the community as well. Try to come up with some solutions for these issues that we got here and make this place a better place for our people as well. So appreciate that. Pop says, love the show. Dig the magic. Say, can't wait for Wednesday. See you then. Appreciate you, Pops.
Hey.
Appreciate you very much. And we will see you on Wednesday. Again, we don't have our confirmed guest, but we will have somebody for Wednesday. And we do have Calvin Williams coming on Friday. Shout out to him for all the work that he's doing as well. And shout out to all of you. Let us know if you got haps, put them in Friends of First Sky Omaha, the group page on Facebook. Love to hear about what those haps are. And if you want to advertise with us, hit us up at firstguyomaha@gmail.com. Yes, we can put your stuff up on the haps every once in a while, but you ain't just going to use our pages without connecting with us on some things. So we'll send you a rate sheet, and we can get into some advertising if that's what you like to do. If my rule for Friends of First Sky Omaha, don't just be over here putting your flyers on the page and you don't engage. Yeah, we don't hear nothing from you on Friends of. You don't discuss nothing. You ain't in the conversation. All of a sudden, boom, 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 flyer. I will pick all that stuff off right away. So again, if you would like to advertise with us, hit us up at firstguyomaha@gmail.com. If you'd like to become a member, go to firstguyomaha.com and hit the donate button, or I'm sorry, the join button, and become a member of the channel as well. Shout out to the $10 people, the $25 people, the $50 people. We appreciate you. Help us to continue this and expand. Got more things to come, so stay tuned. Stay tuned, and we will talk to you Wednesday. Take care of yourselves. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious, this is protected by the Red